Responding to comments from 2 years ago? Sure, why not? This is for a commenter named Roberto Esquivel. For my reaction video to Childish Gambino and the song This Is America. I'll link to that original reaction video below. Quite simply, I wasn't feeling this song, and looking back on it now, I was probably a little too judgmental of the song and the video itself. Anyway, Roberto says in his comment, quote, "Pay attention to the video more, the background. That's not his normal style of music. He's emphasizing the style of music, in particular hip-hop and entertainment that the younger generation pays attention to instead of what's really going on in our society. The popular dance moves and social trends are there to distract you from the chaos in the background. There's videos that explain references used to portray this message." So, I actually think that was a pretty good comment, actually constructive. Like, a lot of YouTube comments are pretty much just garbage, but this was actually a good one. So here's my modified take on the song. My initial problem with the song wasn't so much the weirdness or the chaos on display. It really had a lot to do with the style and the fact that I didn't necessarily understand what was being said. I myself make music that can be weird or chaotic or strange or however you want to look at it. In fact, some of it's probably not technically music at all. It's just me recording some crazy stuff and, trying to just be raw. So I can appreciate that this song technically was not doing that. There was actual thought put into it. And it is a creative song. My main criticism is simply that I couldn't make out most of the words, and maybe that's because I'm a corny white dude from the upper Midwest, but I'm not entirely sure that's the reason either. Although I will admit, when I was watching the video, I was a little bit too distracted by the fact that the dude wasn't wearing a shirt and stuff like that. I don't know that, maybe I don't know. It's just one of those things. I've always had a problem with guys going around shirtless in the United States because I think women should be able to do that too. Like, I don't think men should be able to run around without a shirt on, while women are generally expected that they can't do that. I don't know. It's a weird thing. But, it was probably on my mind at the time. Even when I'm out jogging, I don't like seeing guys running around shirtless. And, it's not because I'm homophobic or whatever or anything like that. It's just I don't like that double standard. And anyway, after reading the lyrics again, I get that the song expresses some level of frustration with violence in the United States, and highlights an obsession with personal wealth and other issues. But if there's some level of blame to be had, I didn't see the song focusing on anything specific exactly, as just like a general statement on that scenario, which is okay, but it's actually pretty standard for hip-hop and rap and really so many different genres to address violence without really, doing anything unique in terms of answering that societal problem. They, like, countless rap songs are about violence. So, in my opinion, it didn't really offer anything that unique. I'm used to plenty of political themes in music with my familiarity with punk rock, but I think maybe the world is passing up opportunities for clarity, and artists are not really doing enough to exactly say what should be done. And that's not to say responsibility is something an artist should necessarily feel. Like, I'm actually one of those people who's like, let an artist do what he or she wants, and to hell with popular opinion about it. Basically, I'm pre-cancel culture in my outlook, so to speak. Um, I think art should be a little experimental, a little bit out there. I think people should be able to express offensive ideas with their art and their music. And I wouldn't say the song really did that. It wasn't really particularly interesting from any political perspective, if I'm being honest. It's definitely not the worst song I've ever heard, but it's difficult to pay attention to the lyrics too, or truly get what the focus is on, especially if you're some sort of outsider looking in like myself, who does not listen to most modern pop because I find it boring. And this basically was a pop song, although obviously it does have a few serious connotations to it. And I do appreciate that the song conveys some depth of meaning, or at least attempts to. You know what I mean? Even that's important to some degree. So it wasn't really that innovative of a song. It didn't really offend me or anything. I just didn't really connect with it. So, making my best effort, though, I'm going to reappraise the song and find some positives that I didn't mention just now. So here's what I think Childish Gambino might have been trying to convey, aside from whatever problems I had with the track. I'm going to try to be fair here. So you need to start making the best out of your world and realize there is no place for excuses. There's no lying to yourself. Either go out and find love, or you're lying to yourself and everyone else, but not doing anything positive. This song is about finding the good in your life, not the bad. In my opinion, that's what I gathered from it. Because the song, it focuses on all this material wealth and violence and stuff. I think it might encourage you to actually look at the ugliness of that. You know what I mean? And instead focus on, the good old concepts like love and whatnot. So, the world is going crazy. I think that message is there. We're seeing the effects of how the world is progressing. We're a society whose solutions to problems are based on change, and if that is going to continue, you need to take a step back and think about what you're doing to change the world and how you're living your life, that sort of stuff. And by changing your views and your life, you will change the world around you. And, it's a classic message that you are the change that you want to see. Very Gandhi-like in that respect. So I was able to get some of this philosophical stuff from this song, which is definitely a positive. And I'll even delve into some positives about the music, aside from the lyrics and stuff, which I really should have tried to look for previously. So the rhythm for the song is great at parts, even if I'm not so crazy about the electronic drums and some of the other stuff going on. It has some crazy unexpected changes, but those potentially make it a more interesting song as opposed to dragging it down or making it more annoying. I mean, like I said, it's not my favorite kind of music, but I do understand that to some degree he was actually parodying certain style of music. So, like the commenter noted, it was a switch up for Childish Gambino to play in this style. So, to be honest, this will never be something I'll fall head over heels in love with. For example, I've also never been a fan of auto-tuned vocals. And this song has those, and those frankly just annoy me. At least in my experience with them, I imagine they could be done well, and some creative stuff could be, you know, the result of auto-tuned vocals, or maybe even auto-tuned musical instruments, or whatever, But that's just not what I tend to experience. But I'm able to appreciate the song better on my follow-up listen. In other words, I don't think it's absolute trash. So, maybe I conveyed too much of a negative view of it in my initial reaction video. But, it was a raw reaction in my defense. So, anyway, I think I've been babbling on about this for long enough now. So, let me know what you think in the comments or whatever. Not necessarily to say I really care that much, but maybe I will respond to your comments in a few years like I did to these comments.